Hello, hello. How are you today? And bright sunshine here and just making me feel amazing. So today I want to talk about sexuality. And that might scare some people, that may get them to stop, that may keep them from even tuning in. But that's all happening for a reason. Why is a part of being human, a part of creating human life, our greatest pleasure, our regulating system for our body, something that allows beautiful hormones and other beautiful healing parts, serotonins and oxytocins and all these beautiful, amazing hormones that are needed to regulate our nervous system. Why are or is the topic of our sexuality so shamed, guilt-ridden, and filled with discomfort, uncomfort, dirtiness, whatever we want to call it? There's a reason for this. How else can you get a person from understanding that they're a self-creator, their sexual energy is creation energy, that the beautifulness of our pleasure allows us to have our nervous system self-correct. It clears our chakras. It does all these beautiful, amazing things for us. But we've been taught since birth, through religion, through shame, guilt, fear, whatever, that there's something wrong with this beautiful act. And I'm just talking about our own personal sexuality first. Before we talk anything about sharing sexuality with another being, we need to be aware that this is a key to our humanness. Our ability to self-regulate is our orgasmicness, our power, our all these hormones flooding into our system when we're in pleasure counteract all these things, cortisols in our system, the tightness in our system. I've actually learned that when things get really real and I'm afraid or I'm uncomfortable, etc., I can use my own self-pleasure to change my state completely. And we need to start to recognize these things. And we also have this problem where our sexuality has to be outside of ourselves. We have to find a partner, we have to find a lover, we have to do whatever, where really these things are personal first. So some people ask me why I talk so deeply about sexuality and the importance of it. The reason that I speak so openly about this is I'm trying to break through the mold, the shame, the guilt, the programming, so that people start to become aware of the beautiful, amazing changes, effects, healing that we can give to ourselves just by understanding what feels good in our body and our personal pleasure. I think it's the single greatest thing that's been repressed in this most diabolical way of taking away the purity and simplicity and ease of our personal pleasure. Why would this happen? Why are we afraid? What comes up? I'm going to start asking some of these questions to people, and it's kind of funny watching people just pop in and out, because this topic will shut people down in an instant. There's so many layers of religion and of sexually transmitted diseases and societal programming, repression. What will people think? What will my parents think? What will my mother think? Etc., etc. That this simply even just talking about the word will scare people away. It will trigger them. But I'm suggesting, based on my own experience, that going through this journey of trying to unbind what sexuality is to us is the greatest gift that you can ever give to yourself, because there's so many untruths, lies, etc., that are stacked all over the word, and it makes it impossible for us to go and pursue our own pleasure, to use this healing modality for ourselves. And somebody's got to start talking about it, because I went through all of this my life. I grew up Catholic, and it's like, oh, you can't touch yourself, you can't give pleasure, you can't. The Catholic Church even stoned people for giving themselves pleasure in the past. So there's this great karmic wound that's going on that immediately tells people that this is bad. What could be possibly bad about allowing yourself to have pleasure? How many people drown themselves in alcohol, in substances, and other things to have some level of pleasure, and they have this ability to create all these things in our body. The release of DMT, which is the ayahuasca spirit molecule, comes during our pleasure, through our orgasmicness. We have the ability to release all these feel-good hormones in a way where it's done from our brain. It's released right from our brain in exactly the quantity we need to regulate our nervous system. If your nervous system is out of regulation, you start to get disease. You start to get all these problems in your body. Things like cancer and stuff are out of control. There's toxins that are in our body. How do we release these toxins? How do we move through? There is so many amazing releases that come with our pleasure and pursuit of that pleasure. And if we can walk through and explore what makes us feel uncomfortable, why does this feel icky? Why does this feel weird? Why do I feel shame? Why do I feel guilt? It can be one of the most amazing awakening practices that you can ever have, because you're going to go up against the wall of so many societal conditions that keep us from having pleasure. And if we had pleasure all the time, it's guaranteed we're going to feel better. Our body's going to be healthier, and we're not going to get stuck on the stuff in society that holds us back. Like I said, when you use pleasure as a self-regulation tool and begin to feel that flush through your body, that clearing of the chakra, the central channel, it's where all the debris and all the crap that's holding us back gets stuck. And if we can clear that out, we start to flow our energy, and some amazing things start to happen. New awareness starts to come. Our body feels better. We feel like literally the term orgasm in French is called the petite mort. It's like a dying inside. And once you've had that release, you sit in this perfectly meditative state. People struggle with meditation and how to calm their mind, and it takes years and years and years, when we all have this tool of our own pleasure, to be able to get to that meditative state. You can actually, with some training and learning, you can actually prolong that orgasmic feeling in your body and move that energy through your body to burst through things that are blocking you, to use it to brighten your field. And the only way to get there is to talk about the topic and to start to become aware of why it's been so subjugated and why the shame is there. And then you get free. You start to realize, okay, this is under my own control, and it's not going to be controlled by what people think of me and what is scary about it. So my task coming here as a teacher, as my own personal self, I don't condone myself to being a teacher or a leader, but the thoughts and the awareness that I found and the freedom that I found in my body and the ability to heal faster and to move through anything is through understanding my sexuality, my pleasure in my body, to get to that relaxed state, that meditative state, and sit there and be and have presence and learning these things. Once we've perfected them in ourselves, we can then share them with another, and then the experience becomes double or tenfold or 100-fold, and we get access to new versions of our chakras. We start to understand the energetic side of ourselves, and then the energetic side of our sexuality, and the energetic side of our connection to another. And all of a sudden, all the programming around love and conditionality and all this kind of stuff becomes free. And we become more embodied of our full power. Can you imagine how much of your actual full power is cut off if you're ashamed about your sexuality? We have a sexual body. We have all these different energetic bodies, love bodies, all these kinds of things. And if those pieces aren't being met, we literally put it in a cage and then sit beside it and say, hey, you're dirty, you're shameful, or whatever. But meanwhile, there's a part of us that's wanting to express ourselves. It's like art is our sexuality, of playfulness, painting on a canvas with new, using our body and our freedom and our feeling good is amazing. And we don't have access to that right now. So by speaking of this, by challenging people to step into their discomfort a little bit, I'm going to show how we get our power back and how we start to grow and how we become sexual, playful beings in our life, because that playfulness, that power, that creation energy, that passion is literally what can create a human life. That passion also can be channeled into our business, channeled into our life, channeled into our relationships, channeled into everything that we do. And by having this cut off and shamed and guilted, we're losing a lot of our power. So I'm going to talk a lot more about this. And if this resonates, join my group, the Awakening Through Sexuality group. Just search it on Facebook. I'll try and put a link in the bottom of this video. Join the group and be empowered people. Start talking about this stuff. Start to find our sexual power. And it will be amazing. So take a look inside. See what that word sexuality or sex or pleasure does inside of you. Do you tighten up in your heart? Does your throat tighten up? Does your root, does your whatever tighten up? That's not normal. That's not anything other than societal programming and shame and guilt. And a part of our inner child knows that there's something wrong. We have a birthright that's been taken from us. And I'm empowering people to take that back. And I'm not sorry, but I understand that people can get triggered by this stuff, and the free and open conversation of it can feel uncomfortable. But I've sat quiet too far, and I've been repressed and tried to be shamed so many times. I want this knowledge to come out to people, and I will not sit in other people's shame when the biggest gift of our life is just sitting there waiting for us, and it just needs to be taken back through a little bit of knowledge and an opening. And I'm giving that freely. And anybody that wants to go on that journey, we'll talk about it. I even just made a post. I guide people. I show them processes that they use in their own personal life and their own private time so that they can start to explore themselves and wake up and start to feel new energy. And then when things show up or blocks show up or whatever, they have somebody to talk to. And I guide people to getting that part of their lives back. And it's magical, and it's so, so important right now. So take a look at Awakening Through Sexuality. Thank you for listening. And we're going to blow this world apart, and we're going to make these things back to normal and part of ourselves so we can be whole beings. So thank you, Jana. I agree with you. For me, make love is very comfortable if love is present. For me, is a connection with high vibrational energy. 7 heaven. Exactly. This is all what it is about. It's about energy, going into depth, expanding ourselves, and starting to see places in our energy that were taken from us and that we deserve to have back. And your life's going to be different each and every day. So thank you for that beautiful comment. And I'm going to close here, but plan to see more beautiful shares around sexuality very soon. And if this resonates, send it to other people that might have benefit from it. We're going to pop this world open, and we're going to start to get us back to free and clear and open. So love you all. Have a great day. See you soon.